Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host, Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Dave Adams, who is president of the Clinton Country Club. Dave, welcome. How are you?
Very well, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming down. So, Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to become president of the Country Club.
I actually started my golfing career at Clinton Country Club as a high schooler going to Morgan School.
Okay.
And I was on the golf team, and I never knowing that I was ever going to become a member or certainly not president of the club,
Right.
But here I am. So I've been a member coming up on 30 years, I think, next year.
Oh, wow.
So it's been quite a long time, and the club has really evolved into a great place for all its members and what it is today. So it's been fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what people don't know is the club is actually a nonprofit organization.
That's true. The club is a 501c7, which is a nonprofit organization, but it falls under the category very similar to like a fraternity or sorority.
Okay.
So it's a club, not necessarily a charitable organization,
Right.
like you would donate to, some of your favorite charities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and it's been around for quite a while.
Right. I believe we're also going to talk about tonight 125 plus 1.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's what they call it.
That's true. We scheduled, the club was started in 1895.
Okay.
It's amazing when you think about it. 125 years. There's so many things that have changed, but yet the club is still an entity.
Yeah.
And we tried to have the gala or the big party for the 125th anniversary,
Right.
similar to the 100th anniversary we had back 25 years ago.
Right.
And we had to move it obviously because of concerns of COVID.
Right.
So now it's this year on October 2nd. It's
Okay.
all been moved out. So
Okay.
it's going to be. It's going to be a good time, and it's great to be able to be a part of it and be there while the 125th is happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I guess we have some photos that we're going to show and we're going to talk about. So the Country Club originally wasn't where it is now.
That's correct. There's a long history that goes along with it, but originally
Okay.
the club was down on the Grove Beach area.
All right.
And it was, I believe, a 6-hole course. It quickly moved from there. That was the origination in 1895. It quickly moved from there over to basically what is south of Route 1 off of Commerce Street.
Sure.
And that area, if you're looking at the map, it's
Yeah.
where everything from Chip's Pub to the Clinton Country Club estates are. That's hence the name, because that's where it originated.
Okay.
And it was a 9-hole course. It had holes along the Indian River.
Okay.
It had holes around Commerce Street. And the clubhouse was actually the large building you see at the very end of Indian Drive. If you're in the harbor area, you can see the clubhouse. As you're looking from the harbor north, you can see the clubhouse is still there. It's now a private residence.
Okay.
But that was the old clubhouse. And
Really?
there's many pictures of that place taken. And it's been lots of things, but certainly the clubhouse, it was built as a clubhouse for the Clinton Country Club years and years ago. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Very cool.
In about
Yeah.
1957, I believe,
Okay.
the club purchased property from, I believe his name was Herman Scheld, who actually still lives across the street. I don't know if he does, but his family still lives across the street from the country club. His son was a veterinarian, and there still is a veterinary hospital there.
Yes, there is.
And that piece of land that he sold to us was the original 9 holes.
Okay.
So the club itself had the original, what is now known as the back 9,
Okay.
was the original front 9 of the country club. And the clubhouse was not where it is today. The clubhouse was an older structure that actually burned down in a fire in 1981.
Wow.
And that structure was where the practice tees are. If you drove straight into the country club parking lot and
Yes.
kept driving straight, that's where the old clubhouse was.
Oh, okay.
So it's been been a long road. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that have changed, or the historical artifacts and whatnot, burned in the fire. So there was not a whole bunch left over for pictures. But
Right.
I had given you the
book.
The
That's
book
right.
is for the 100th anniversary, and it has some pretty. That's where we got that shot.
Absolutely.
Of the layout of the original club. But the book has a bunch of pictures and whatnot in it that are pretty incredible, because some of the things that we've seen in there are just something else.
Absolutely. And I got to let you know that you guys did an awesome job with the patio.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was kind of on the back burner, kind of talked about, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And we said, well, everybody wants to be outside.
Right.
So let's push this project forward, and we did. There was an area that was next to the practice putting green.
Yep.
That was kind of an open area that was used really to park carts during tournaments and stuff like that, but it wasn't really used for anything else. So it was the perfect location. It turned out that we ran water and propane and electricity out there.
Okay.
So we have all of the basics for any kind of cooking or bar area, that kind of thing. So it's worked out great, and we just opened it up this spring, and so far it's been a big hit. So
Yeah, I was there the other day.
Yeah, right.
I was on it the other day on Saturday.
Yeah. So there's different parties and events and whatnot. We actually built it the same size as a large tent.
Okay.
So that we can put a tent directly over the whole thing should there be need
Inclement
for that.
weather.
Or a wedding or
Yeah.
whatever you want to put
Absolutely.
over there. So I mean these days with the heat of the summer is not a bad idea to have a tent up either. So
No, of course
works
not.
out okay. Yeah.
Of course not.
But it's a great spot. People are enjoying it, and we'll see how it grows and how it's being used, and if we need to expand, we will. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. And people that don't know, the country club and the grounds are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they sure are.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's some people. It's strange how different people use that club different ways.
Mm-hmm.
As an example, I think an average golfer. I'm not good. I'm not bad. I'm right down the middle.
Right.
I just like being outside and kind of taking in the sunshine.
Absolutely.
And listening to the birds and looking at the trees and the flowers.
Right.
Other people are a bit more competitive than I, and that's good for them. And some people are less competitive, and they really, they'll go out and play 3 holes and hang it up for the day, or whatever they want. So it's really been used over the years and currently in a way that suits everyone's individual personalities. It's not necessarily a competitive club. It's not necessarily, a leisure club or a club for, elderly people. It's just, it's got a whole gamut of people and ages to go along with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from what I've seen of the course, it's absolutely beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, we
absolutely.
try to keep it. We've had great success with some groundskeeping crews.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, our superintendent, Mike Decker, has been there.
Oh, sure.
For 30 years, I believe, or maybe 32.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been around for quite a while, and he was only there. He's a graduate of North Carolina State University with a degree in agronomy, and he came on board when John Halbozik was the superintendent.
Okay.
John unfortunately passed away, and at the time he had talked about Mike being the guy and the person who was going to succeed him even before he got sick. Mm-hmm. And the next thing I know is everybody kind of signed off on it and said, "Yep, Mike's our guy." So Mike's been there for, like I said, 30-something years.
Oh, wow.
And year after year after year, he's been a great help, as well as the Greens Committee and the board, to be just wonderful in setting up the club in a way that it is today, but it's been in great condition. We've had all kinds of some accolades from all kinds of places that really have said, "Boy, what a spot!" So it's been great. It's really been great. It just seems to be getting better every year.
Absolutely. And the other person we got to do shout out at the country club is, of course, you go to the country club, you hang out, you're going to want to eat something.
Sure. So who are we talking about? Are we talking about Carl or Steven or Joe? I mean, we have some favorites there.
Or Chef Paul.
Chef Paul, sure. Or Octavio, the sous chef.
That's right.
We got all. We got
all sorts of favorites.
Yeah. There's it's a tribute to the country club and the membership that we've had some of our employees for as long as we have, because they don't leave, and I think we treat them like family, and hopefully they feel that way. And it's a great thing, because those people are really the core of the club, and they come back year after year after year.
Absolutely.
People say, well, yeah, they got the winters off, but they really don't.
Of course not.
I mean, they come back. We're closed in the month of January,
right?
And that's about it. We open back up again in February on a part-time basis, and then as the season ramps up, we're open again. So it's been great. Yeah, the membership's been really good. As a matter of fact, the membership right now is. We've been very, very fortunate over the years to have full subscription to the golfing memberships, and right now we actually even have a waiting list.
Really?
So yeah, it's been great. Yeah, it's been really great, and over the years, it's It's just super. It's a lot of fun. You know,
is.
this is a cliche, but it's really the membership who makes the club what it is.
Right.
You know, you could go south or west and go to other clubs, and there's cliques and there's this and there's that.
Yep.
But you know, Clinton Country Club doesn't have that. Everybody
No.
who walks in there, you know, you could probably buy the place 3 times over, or you might be just hanging on to be able to be a member there. But it doesn't matter to anybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody's having a good time and
everybody's
playing golf.
also always so friendly.
Yeah.
Carl, Steve,
well, I think,
Joe.
I think your blood pressure goes down as soon as you drive into the parking lot.
Oh,
I got to
absolutely.
tell you.
Absolutely.
So and yeah, the staff does make you feel so comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you mentioned Joe. Joe's been a bartender there. Joe has a great story. He was a social studies teacher, and the story goes that Joe walked in and applied because his wife's, after he retired, his wife said, "Well, you can't stay home." So he walks in and applies for a job, and he said, "Well, what do you do?" And he said, "You know, well, I'm a social studies teacher."
Okay.
And they said, "Well, you know, we don't have much call for social studies teachers here at the country club." So anyway,
No.
it turned out that they called him back, I think that afternoon. They had a position open. He came back and they said, "Do you know how to bartend?" And he said, "No." And they said, "Well, come on, we'll kind of show you as you go, and the members are going to help you."
Great.
So the next thing you know is Joe's a bartender, and now he's the best guy around,
Oh,
and he's
absolutely.
training other people, and we've had a great time with Joe. And if you've ever been to the club, whether you're a guest or a member, I'll tell you, Joe's just the best.
Oh,
And,
oh,
you know,
absolutely.
between him and Chelsea in the office,
Oh,
and,
sure, yep.
and Kathy in the office, Carl, Stephen Gray, the assistant restaurant manager, you know, all these people who are kind of out in front of the house, they
Yeah.
just make it a super place to be. So it's a lot of fun. So.
Absolutely. Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Keep on keeping on, lady. Keep on keeping on, yeah. You expect me to stop living? No, you're telling me giving. I gotta do. Oh, your baby gonna keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Connecticut, for doing your part to stop the spread of COVID-19, for wearing your masks, washing your hands, and keeping your distance. So keep it up, Connecticut. We've come too far to go back.
Keeping on.
COVID-19 has changed how we stomp the yard and feel the beat. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I get it? Is it free?
It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts about COVID-19 vaccines at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your fam.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Dave Adams, president of the Clinton Country Club. Dave, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again,
All right.
thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming down. So we talked about a little bit about the history of the country club and how much fun it is being at the country club. Let's talk about how the country club is doing, especially during this time of the pandemic with all this craziness going on in the world.
Yeah, well, I can't say that it's just the Clinton Country Club, but I think lots of golf clubs,
Oh, yeah.
now that people have more time on their hands, because maybe they're not commuting, they're not, they're being able to work at home.
Right.
You know, we've had kind of a bit of a rush, actually, to join as members.
Right.
So it's been good. I can certainly speak for Clinton.
Yeah.
As I think I mentioned, we're oversubscribed at the moment with a small waiting list.
Okay.
But you know, we still invite people to come on down and fill out an application if they're at all interested in golf. The whole idea behind the club is really just to relax. There's different areas that you can golf, you can eat, you can sit at the bar and have a drink, you can
Right.
sit outside of the patio as you did the other day.
Yes.
There's a lot of different areas to have, you know, small conversations or big parties. And there's, you know, all kinds of things happening all the time. The event that you went to the other day,
Yep. Oh.
there's also different kinds of dining events
Yeah.
where they have, you mentioned Caribbean night, they
Right.
would have seafood festival weekend, that kind of thing. So it's really great. It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you, you know, from a financial standpoint,
Yes.
the club has always been very, very conservative as far as their finances go, and they
Okay.
continue to do so. So very, very stable club. You know, we don't make any major moves without asking the membership. We take a vote on it. It's very democratic.
Right.
And but lately, or not not just lately, but over the years, it's been great. It really has. So we're in good shape as far as that goes. But we're always looking for new members.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And COVID has really been kind of a strange thing, because at the very beginning,
Right.
we didn't know whether we should shut the whole place down.
Right.
But then we figured out, well, it's an outdoor activity,
Right.
so that's good. People aren't going into their offices, whether it be in New Haven or Hartford or New York or wherever
Right.
they're going. So now all of a sudden they have a little bit more time on their hands, and the next thing you know is we had a full contingent of people out there golfing and trying to keep their distances and being aware of the COVID situation, and it's been great.
Right.
We've recently, I should say, gone back and said, look, it's up to the people. If you've been vaccinated, if you still want to wear a mask, that's fine. If you
Right.
don't want to wear a mask, that's okay too.
Right.
And it's been really great.
Absolutely.
It's worked out well.
And the other thing we got to talk about, especially during the time of COVID, the other thing that you guys did at the country club, you guys did meals to go.
Yes.
You did takeout.
Yeah, gourmet to go. We
Yes,
called it. Yeah,
okay.
and that worked out great.
Oh, absolutely.
Chef Paul and his crew, Octavio, they did a wonderful job.
They did.
And we would actually have a member call in, say,
Right.
this is what I want. Could be special order, could be, whatever. They'd say, okay, we're going to have that ready for you at what time? They would say, 7 o'clock.
Right.
Meet you out in front. They would literally pull up in their car,
Oh, yeah.
open their trunk. We would place it in their trunk, close their trunk for them, drive away, charge it to their account. They're good to go.
There you go.
So
we did it
no
a couple
contact.
times. We did it a couple of times this year, and
Yeah.
the food was absolutely amazing.
Oh, good.
It was
good.
absolutely
yeah,
amazing.
that worked out. Lots of people. There's still people using it now. COVID or not, they're
Right.
still using it because they thought it was such a great convenience. And,
And it
is.
still continues?
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
wow.
Yeah. You could.
I didn't
you
know
could
that.
call up right now and say, all right, this is what I want. Put it together. I'll see you in a half an hour. So it works out great.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really is good.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So all the years you've been involved in the country club, do you have a favorite memory or favorite event that's happened at the club?
Well, we have an event that happens every year,
Okay.
and that is Labor Day weekend every
Yes.
year. It's the club championship weekend.
Well, absolutely.
And while I can't say that I've ever been a club champion, I certainly enjoy the event. The
Yes.
people that are some of the best golfers in the club, whether it be the juniors, the women, and the guys,
Okay.
it's just like watching a PGA event.
Absolutely.
It's great. So we get the contingent of members out there in carts. I think we have the bar cart drive out to keep everybody warmed up. And we watch these people on the final days golf, usually on Labor Day.
Yes.
And it's fabulous. It's really, truly like watching a PGA event. I can't even imagine how nervous I would be if I was out there.
Absolutely.
I'd be like, forget it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they really like it, and it's been it's been an event on Labor Day weekend for as long as I can remember.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, in years past, I'm usually that Monday of Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
I'm usually on a golf cart with my dad and driving around and hanging out.
Yeah, it's great. It really is fun. I mean, we've had some perennial winners. I think you said you had Mary Harris on the
Mary was
show.
here recently.
She's been a perennial winner. Boy, I'll tell you, she's a great golfer.
Oh, she is.
Steve Bugg, another one who's been on the board many, many times.
Okay.
Tom Pellet as well. But there's lots of people who have just been really good golfers, and over the years they don't let their they're probably at the driving range more than I am. Let's just
right,
put it that
exactly.
way,
Right.
They haven't let their game wane whatsoever, but they're great, and it's fun to watch. Really is really fun to watch.
Absolutely. So what can people expect for the 125th plus one this year?
Oh yeah, so we have a great layout or program.
Okay.
So we're going to take we have a giant tent. I can't remember what size it is, but I know it's big. It's going to go on the 10th fairway. So as you're pulling up to the club, you see the 10th tee on your right-hand side. It's going to be just out beyond that.
Okay.
We're going to have cocktails on the patio, the new patio.
Ooh, okay.
There's going to be another tent set up for the staging area for all the cooking and food. It's a black tie event, so everybody, it's optional, but we're going to have someone come over in September and fit all the guys for tuxedos, and then they're going to deliver them to the club, so we'll have them ready. And I can't wait to see some of my friends in in tuxedos. I've never seen them sometimes.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So that should be fun. And then Yeah, we have a band. I think a 6, 7, 8-piece band, something like that.
Oh, cool.
They're going to be there. We're hoping. I think we're up to close to 300 people so far. So it's going to be great. It really is going to be a lot of fun, and
Absolutely,
it's on October 2nd. So everybody's looking forward to that.
I'm gonna stay on the subject of the country club, but I'm gonna switch gears for 30 seconds because we got to
Okay.
do another shout out. I hear there's also a golf tournament coming up on Columbus Day weekend.
Yes, there is.
Something else
It's
and I know about.
That's right. It's one of a few nonprofit organizations that have their tournaments at our club. It's a fundraiser for them, and in this
Right.
particular case, it is the Clinton Education Foundation and Clinton Lions Club. Years ago, they paired it together to come up with one tournament, and it's a fantastic event. It's actually especially good because even if you're not a very good golfer,
Right.
It's a shamble, which means that you hit the ball out, and then we all go to the best drive, and then so on and so on. So it's much easier than trying to play your own score.
Exactly.
So and it keeps up the pace of play. The whole idea is that it's a very social type of atmosphere where everybody can kind of get together. It's more of a social event than it is a golfing event, is what I would say. So, and it's a great fundraiser for two great causes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And in the years past, obviously, both organizations financially have done well, correct?
Yeah. I can't give you the exact numbers,
That's
but
fine.
I would say that it's probably the majority of their budgets for the year.
Okay.
All is based on this income from this tournament. So they've done a great job, and of course those are two organizations that really put the money directly back into Clinton.
Absolutely.
The Clinton Education Foundation very obviously puts it back into the education system,
Right.
scholarships and whatnot, and the Clinton Lions Club does the same. They also have scholarships, but they also do other things around the Clinton community. So the money spent and the sponsors' money, many sponsors, which we should thank.
Right.
The Clinton sponsors, for the majority of the sponsors are from Clinton, the money goes right back into the community, which
Absolutely.
is fantastic. Yeah.
Absolutely. And especially during this time, it's very important to support your local business.
Oh, it sure is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's been tough. I mean, we don't want to have to go and ask the guy on the corner, hey, would you mind donating $100 or $200 to our tournament when he hasn't had any customers in a year?
Right.
So it's been a little more difficult on the fundraising side of things, but for the most part, they're still willing to step up, and I think that's just wonderful. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, as far as social members, how many social members do you guys have?
We have social memberships.
Okay,
so
so-
let's say a membership is a single person, but you could bring your spouse or
Right.
your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. So we have about 110 social members. And social members, they can use the restaurant, they can come to events, they can do whatever. The only difference is between a social member and a golfing member is the social member doesn't play golf or
Right.
can't play golf.
Yes.
They can play as a guest of a member. So
Right.
just like everybody else, you and I could play as a guest of a member as well.
Right.
If we weren't members. So
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's been good.
Yeah.
And as far as the golfing members go, we have about, I think, 330 golfing memberships.
Wow.
And about a third of those are family memberships,
Okay.
which you could have, I think 3, 4, 5 people on or more.
Wow.
And then the other 2/3 are individual members. So if I had to guess, there's probably all in all maybe 650 members or people that can attend because
wow.
the memberships are built around the one person who's the member, but they have either family or,
Right.
as far as the social members go, they can bring their family along. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot of good events too. I mean, we have
Yeah.
Easter, we have
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is a huge event. There's corporate Christmas parties that
Yep.
go on, holiday parties. There's all kinds of different events going on. I can't even keep up with them. There's so many happening.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But they do a great job.
Absolutely,
Yeah, they
they-
do a good job.
They absolutely do good. But if people want more information on the country club, where can they go?
Well, they can call the office and talk to either Chelsea or Kathy. Chelsea's just fantastic to talk
Absolutely.
to. Or you can you can go on the website,
Okay.
which is clintoncc.org.
Okay.
And get all the information right there.
And
I'll tell you, after you go on the website, you're going to want to talk to Chelsea.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. She'll give you all the ins and outs and what's going on, and it really works out good.
Oh, absolutely. I was on the website the other day prepping for tonight. And
Yeah.
It's like, wow, there was stuff I even forgot because I'm on the website not
Well, you're asking good questions, Pete. I'll tell you. That's
Well,
good.
thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave. But one more time about the gala before we say goodnight. When, where, and what time?
It is on October 2nd.
Okay.
I believe people start rolling in around 5 o'clock or so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that one.
Okay. All right.
But somewhere in there. And yeah, it's open to all members, including social members,
Okay.
if they want to come over. And yeah, it's been a heck of 126 years. That's for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah, it's been a lot of
absolutely.
fun.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, Dave Adams, before we say goodnight, I want to thank you for coming down, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you calling and having me on.
You got it. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
On behalf of Dave Adams, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next time.